our aspiring artists, welcome back and happy holidays. I thought it might be fun today to put a little color in our lives and apply some of the things we've been doing in our recent lessons. So, this is what I invite you to do with me today, or something similar to this. The paper that Yvette had for you at the library was the manila kind, and that's fine. And that's what I'm going to be using for today's live demonstration. If you have white drawing paper, perfect. If you have a color that you'd like to use, the darker background to bring out the colors that we're using, your choice. What else do you need? Excuse me. You might need a pencil. Maybe yes, maybe no. I think maybe I won't be using one, but I'll show you as we go. You'll need something to color with, and the choice is yours. Crayons work, colored pencils work, oil pastels. We talked about these briefly last time. Oil pastels work also, and that's what I'm going to use today simply because they show up a lot nicer and quicker on the video for you to view. So with that being said, let's work today with our paper in the portrait position because our finished product is going to be longer than it is horizontal. So portrait position, pencil if you like that. Otherwise, let's go with some kind of a brown color, whether it be oil pastel or crayon or colored pencil, I think is what I didn't say. We're going to start somewhere up in the vicinity of the upper left-hand corner, and we're going to come down toward the lower right portion of the paper. And what we're making at this point is this big branch of the Christmas tree. So near the upper left, I can't do it upside down, down toward the lower right, nice and dark. I had you start with the brown, the middle, I used a middle brown. I'm going to go back now with a lighter brown because remember we talked about light source? The light is going to come in toward your Christmas tree branch from above. So we're going to make the top of this have a layer of lighter brown. And I'm just coloring a little strip along there like it would be the light reflecting on that upper edge rather, of the branch, like so. Now, if it's lighter up here, obviously it's darker down here. So let's go back and find something dark, not black. Black just kind of kills it. Let's go with a nice deep blue or a purple. I think I've got a dark blue there. And it's going to be down here on the shadowed side. Shadowed side of the branch. I can't do it upside down. So again, just a little thin line along the bottom of the branch. Got mine a little bit fat. It's going to be a healthy branch the way I'm going. So now you've got the light coming from above. It's making it shadowed underneath, and you've got that reflected in your choices of colors. We'll come back at the very last part of our project today and put the needles in, but I think it works better if we go ahead and do our ornaments and so forth and get them positioned before we put the needles on. So, of course, ornaments can be any color you want. I happen to like these just because they're bright and pretty. Whatever you want. But before we're ready for that, we need to get them into our picture. I got a jar ring thinking it would work. I can show you it does not work on this size drawing. It's way, I guess you could, but I think it's way, way, way too big. So I went back and this looks like the top off a spice jar perhaps. And it's about 2 inches in diameter. It doesn't have to be exactly that. But we're going to suspend our ornaments from this branch just as we did it on our Christmas tree. And I think I will go back to my pencil for right now and do that. Oh, by the way, you can make a decision how many you're going to hang on your tree. We don't want too many, but a little secret of most art compositions is we want an odd number. So you can have one. In that case, you might use the bigger ring. I like 3. It's just my magic number. So I'm going to go ahead and position these, and I'll show you in just a minute. Yours can be anywhere under the branch. They don't hang on top, obviously. Under the branch that you want them to be. And I'm drawing around with my pencil, and you won't be able to see this as well as you could my colored markers, but I'll put it up close and maybe you can see. I kind of made some of them closer to the branch and some of them hanging down a little bit more. And just to make that more clear to you, I'm going to go back now. You won't be able to see it if I do it that way. I'll have to use a darker color. I'm going to make the hangers to hang them on the branch so that we get ourselves connected in our picture. So here's the top of the ornament, and it probably has a hook of some kind. Probably not my best choice of colors, but now I've got a little hook hanging that ornament into my picture. I'll do the same thing down here, and I put this one further away from the branch. Obviously, gravity's going to pull these straight down, so let's don't have them hanging crookedy on the branch. I suppose they could, but I'd rather that they would hang straight down, kind of like that. And again, the hook to hook them around the branch. I forgot to make the little part that hangs it onto the ornament. Go back and do that little cap part. And one more, and then we'll have all our ornaments into our picture, and we can start doing the fun part. I didn't mention this as I went, but you can notice that this one up here on this side and this one down here have the hanger going behind the branch. That's why I didn't color it all the way. This one in the, can't find my picture. This one in the middle has the wire hanger hanging in front of the branch, and that's why I made the line solid, and you can see it in front of the branch. Okay, now I said we'd have the fun part. I don't care what color your ornaments are going to be. I think I'm going to start with a middle blue. You don't have to. You can have orange, red, purple, whatever you like. Middle blue for me. And I think so that I won't get my hand in my drawing, I'm going to start with the ornament that's furthest away from my hand, because if we put our hand over our work, we're going to make messes probably. Remember when we did the grayscale in one of our very first lessons? The grayscale is when we are shading from lighter, 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 almost invisible, to darker, darker, darker. Again, I'll show you in just a moment here. Get this started in. I tried to make gradations of my color here. Up here at the tippy top, it's just about as light as I can make it. In the middle, it's a middle value, and at the bottom, it's getting darker and darker and darker. That's exactly what we did in our first lessons with the grayscale. Obviously, the reason it's lighter, lighter, lighter up here at the top is because we're continuing our idea that the light is coming from the top of our composition. Again, just like I usually do, I'm not going to make this as nice and finished as yours will be, because I don't want you to have to wait for me. I did all of that with the same one color. What I'm going to do now is go to a darker color to make this even more distinctively darkened down here in the shadow. So again, I think I'll go back to that dark, dark blue I used a while ago. And on the very furthest point from the light is going to be the darkest part of our ornament. And as we come up the sides toward the middle, again, it's going to get lighter and lighter. Now you'll want to do kind of a blending back and forth of that lighter that I started with and the darker one I'm using now. And I'm beginning to get a blending of the values just a little bit like that. And now I'm going to use my magic finger and do some blending. With oil pastels, once they're on the paper, they like to stay where you put them, so it takes a little bit of push, push, push to get them to blend. That needs to be even darker down on the bottom. I used a dark blue. I think I'm going to go with even a purple now and see if I can get some more shadow. Oh yeah, get some more shadow down here on the bottom. And again, blending it up with my magic finger. Now that's just the beginning. It needs a lot more blending together so that all those light spots are blended in, because most ornaments, at least in my house, don't have those speckles on them. Okay, we can do the same thing with another color. Let's see, I think I'm going to go with the reds now, and I've got a medium, that's kind of an orangey, and then I've got a deep red, and I'm going to go with kind of a gold color for my third color. We didn't use 3 colors on this one, but I could have. This one's going to be my middle color. This will be the one up toward the top, toward the light source. And this will be my shadow color for down at the bottom. Let me start the next ornament for you so that you can see that it's the same principle, different color. And I just added a decoration to my picture that I didn't intend to get, but that's what happens when I'm careless. Getting darker, darker, darker with my middle value. Darkest, darkest, darkest down here on the bottom. And now up on the top where I was getting a lighter, lighter with that middle value, I'm coming in with that gold color and fading out to just the light reflection on the very top of our ornament. There's a beginning. Oh, I like my beginning. Obviously, it's not finished, but I'm going to go in with that dark, dark, dark third value now and darken the shadowed side of our ornament, lightening up to blend into the middle value. So, and blending with my finger. You could be using a tissue, folded paper towel. You don't have to use your finger because it does color code your fingers also. It washes. Now I'm not real pleased with the color that I used to put these hangers onto the tree. They look kind of goofy to me. So I'm going to go back now with something to darken them down. Again, it's your choice of colors. I think I'm going to use I think I'm going to use that middle brown that I started with the branch, and just put a shadowed side under this hanger and a little bit on this side and maybe a little bit on the wire strip or whatever that is made out of. I like that better. I just didn't like that color that was on there before, and I need to do the same kind of thing here on these other ones. On the shadowed side, it's going to be away from the light and in front of and on the back side of our hanger. See, that gives it some dimension, gives it meaning for being there. And probably I can look now and see that really and truly I've left it a little too light here on my ornament right behind the hanger, because that would be a little bit shadowed. Oh, whoops. That would be a little bit shadowed also. Not the whole thing. The very top of it. Here where the hanger is not in front of the light would remain bright and light. Probably not colored at all. And then behind the hanger, down here where the light is blocked from above, it's going to be a little bit darker. Okay, you've got one more to go down here. And I think that you can go ahead and finish that up. Let's see, mine is probably going to be, oh, I'll just do it right now. I think I'll do my greens. 3 values of green. Whoops, I've got a nice light one here. And we'll see what I need for the darkest color. This is really a light green. It's a powdery green. Here's my middle value coming in. And let's see, do I have anything dark enough green? I don't think so. I think I'm going to have to go with, well, I guess I'll go with that dark blue again and see if I can make that one work. You might have 3 different greens in your colored pencils or crayons or whatever you're using. But you have to kind of experiment a little bit sometimes to see what will work. That's not bad. Needs a lot of blending, obviously. It's just barely started in. But that's why we use our blender. Kind of like that. Not finished, but a beginning. I said we would leave the needles on the tree until last, and so we're ready to begin doing that. You'll want to go back and finish these later and make them look completed. But I think I've got the green ones still out, and we're going to need at least 2 shades of green. And I think your crayon box has 2 greens in it, and maybe your colored pencils might have. Again, if the greens, if you don't have the shades you need, go with a dark blue, maybe even a purple. Try it lightly when you first put it on, and then make it darker if it's working for you. Now, the needles on the tree are not going to grow up, not going to grow backwards, in other words. It's like petting your kitty cat the wrong way. Doesn't work. The needles grow, we call it the growth direction. They grow from the stem out. Of course, they go all around. The branch. They're not all on one side like that. The purple Charlie Brown tree. No, they need to go, they grow from every part of the branch in various directions. Now, though that still looks like a Charlie Brown tree, I think I need lots more needles in there. Make it nice and full. But remember, we're using 2 greens. Let's shade some of these. Not all of them necessarily, but just get some lighter where the light from above would be coming down and hitting the top side of these needles. And you're going to do that all the way down with your greens. And remember, down here at the end, it still has needles growing out. That's beginning to look like it might be an attractive picture. Doesn't look finished. Bet yours doesn't either. But you've got time. You've got between now and our next get-together, which will not be until in January. And for the January time when we get together, you're going to need the paper. Again, Yvette has things at the library for you that you can pick up or use your own. Doesn't matter. Paper, pencil, Again, crayons. In fact, just the same things we had today, but we don't need the circles anymore. Paper, pencil, crayons, colored pencils, oil pastels if you like, but I would prefer colored pencils or crayon next time because we're going to use some finer detail stuff. Merry Christmas. Have fun. Bye bye.